What's going on, everyone? I know it's been a long time since I've done my last little audio clip where I ranted and bitched and complained about stuff. For those of you who don't know me, I now live in Japan. My career has brought me to Japan, and I've spent about the last year and some change getting settled in and getting a routine going, and it really does take about that long. When you move to like a completely different fucking country, it takes forever to get fully settled in and get like a really good routine going, because it's a lot to adjust to. It's a lot. But now that I've finally adjusted and things are starting to become a little bit normal for me now, and I have a little more free time, I now have time to do stuff like this. So what I want to talk about today is the glorification of stepdads. Now, I was talking to one of my friends from back home the other day via Facebook Messenger, and she asked me, why do I think stepdads are so glorified and put on this pedestal? And, surprisingly, it's not something that I really ever thought about before. And I say it's surprising because anyone that knows me knows I take a particular interest to men's issues, fathers' rights, things of that nature. So she mentioned it, and I started, pondering it kind of in my head, and I'm like, you know what? It's totally fucking true. All my life, it seems like especially biological dads that have divorced or left a relationship where they had a kid with a woman, it seems like the new stepdads that come in, they get glorified, and it don't matter how good of a dad he is. The biological father, it seems like he always catches shit. Like, he could be like the best, he could pay like $5,000 a month, see his son or daughter all the time, and just because the mom had a failed relationship with him, he will always be a demon in her eyes, and she will never give him the respect or praise that he deserves, regardless. But what I think it has a lot to do with is, I think what it all boils down to is a woman's hunger for power and control over a situation. I think that is the main reason why stepdads get glorified and why biological fathers don't seem to get as much shine and respect as they should. And I say this because, think about it. A biological father, what does he have over his children that a stepdad would not have over those same children? Legal rights. A biological father has legal rights to his children that are outside of the mother's control. Granted, it may not be very many legal rights, but they're there. Say mommy and daddy, they split up and they're having a hard time coming to an agreement on a visitation schedule. They go to court. A judge says, okay, so Mr. John Johnson over here, he's going to get his children every other weekend and a day and a half during every week. Court adjourned. She has to follow that legally. If she doesn't, she will get in trouble. Well, she's supposed to get in trouble, because let's be real. I've grown up, I've seen many instances, starting from when I was a teenager all the way up until where I am now. I've known a lot of men that have been going through custody issues, visitation issues, and the judge says, hey, you will drop the kid off. You guys will meet at, McDonald's at 1 o'clock every Friday for pickup and drop off, blah, blah, blah. The mother doesn't show up. He calls the cops. The cops tell him, oh, it's a civil matter, not a criminal matter. There's nothing we can do. And then he has to spend another fucking $850 on an attorney to take her to court. They go to court, and the only thing that happens to the mother, she gets a quick scalding from the judge. She doesn't pay no fines. She doesn't go to jail. Nothing. It's bullshit. But she's supposed to follow what the judge says. And stuff like that is out of her control. She has no control over that. And it infuriates her. But, stepdads, on the other hand, they don't have legal rights. The rights that they have to the children are entirely determined by the mother. And it's convenient for her. He's basically a dad bot that she can just kind of like shut off and turn on whenever it's convenient for her. Like, hey, go pick the kids up after school. Hey, how much overtime are you going to be able to get this week because little Johnny needs school clothes? Hey, did you fucking add little Johnny to your healthcare plan yet? Blah, blah, blah. But as soon as he kind of like expresses an opinion about the kid and what should be going on with the kid, he's quick to be reminded that he's just the stepdad and he needs to stay in his lane. You know? And, you know, it's funny because now that I'm thinking about it, I remember seeing an article about this woman. She got married, and at the wedding, her biological father, as he was walking her down the aisle, he stopped, walked over to the woman's stepfather, grabbed his hand, and invited him over to help walk his daughter down the aisle. And women ate that shit up. Oh my fucking God. That article, that story had so many shares, and just women just, oh my God, you know, this just glorification. It was crazy. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with being a stepfather. There's nothing wrong. I'm a stepdad myself. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm not, you know, trying to shame stepdads or anything like that. But, you know, we can't sit here and deny that there's at least some truth to what I'm saying. I mean, think about it. If you're an adult, think, you know, all the way back to when you were a kid up until now. Just kind of take a look around and you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, hell, you go on Facebook and guaranteed all of you have at least a couple female friends that have got out of a relationship with a dude that they had a kid with, found a new man, and they're constantly posting pictures of, you know, their new man and the kid and saying how much of a better dad he is and the biological dad. And, you know, we've all seen it. I see it every fucking day. I'm not going to say no names, but I got a couple of friends on my Facebook that do that shit. And, you know, in my opinion, like I said previously, is what it boils down to is just a woman's desire to have power and control over a situation. You know, in the instance of stepfathers, she has all the power and control. She can basically tell him, act like a dad when it conveniences me. That's it. Whenever it might become somewhat of an inconvenience or I feel like you're kind of stepping on my toes, I'm going to have to lay down the law and remind you that you're just a stepdad. And, you know, I saw it growing up too. You know, my mother and father divorced when I was like 5-6 years old or something. And, you know, for the first 14 years of my life, I grew up with my mother. And my mother, you know, she got remarried. And she did enter a few relationships. And every time these men would kind of like act a little bit too much like my biological father, she would be quick to remind them that they're not my father. And at the time, as a kid, you know, thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that's right. But looking back now, it's kind of fucked up because they took on a lot of financial responsibilities as my father, i.e. buying me clothes, putting me on their health insurance, picking me up after school, shit like that. But if they just, you know, had like a suggestion or a say in how they wanted shit to be for me, you know, or if, you know, they tried to discipline me, they'd quickly be reminded that they're just the stepdad. And, you know, it's there, it happens. We all know it happens. We can't deny it. But, yeah, that's, I know this audio clip's kind of brief. It's probably going to be about 10 minutes, but whatever. It's a narrow topic, so got a narrow audio. But yeah, that was just a little something I want to talk about today. Just the glorification of stepfathers over biological fathers. There'll be more audio clips to come in the future. No doubt. I have a lot more time in my hands now, so just be on the lookout. Or if you have a suggestion, if you want me to sit here and rant, bitch, and complain about something, just let me know, because anyone that knows me knows I can complain all fucking day. I'm very good at that. If that was a paying job, I could retire now. But yeah, just stay tuned and, you know, be on the lookout for the next video. Like, comment, share, whatever. I don't really fucking care. Love you all and have a nice night.